Yo, welcome on in to Sub Me In here, the show where we talk about football, video games, and movies. Pretty much the stuff that I like. We're talking news and just some thoughts about what's going on. Let's move over here a little bit. So we're gonna be I'm breaking up the episodes into 3 parts. Basically, just like part 1 is football, part 2 is movies, part 3 is video games, things like that, right? So just stay tuned. Just keep an eye out for if you're interested in any of those topics. We're putting those out on on a day-to-day basis. I think I have a good idea of how I'm going to schedule these stuff when it comes to uploading videos. So yeah, there's that change pretty much. So I'm just gonna kind of go over what I'm gonna be talking about this week. So football, we're gonna be talking about Neymar going to Al Hilal. Transfer is complete, and just throw some thoughts on that. When it comes to movies, there's a pretty cool movie that's coming out, Napoleon, and we're gonna watch the trailer for that and just kind of give some talk about that. Anything else that needs to be told in that movie, everything you need to know, kind of. So video games, we're gonna be talking about Xbox 360 shutting down the store, and that was actually my favorite Xbox console. And we're also going to be talking about upcoming PS5 games from August up until should be December. If there's anything that's going to be to be announced, we'll talk about that too. We're not going to be watching any trailers on those games. We're just going to be going over them, kind of like a little summary, who's developing, who's things like that. But yeah, let's get this started. So let's talk about Xbox 360 shutting down the store. Xbox 360 was the only Xbox console that I had. It's the only one I played. I remember we had a PS2. We got the PS2 over the Xbox, and then when the 360 and the PlayStation 3 were announced, it actually wasn't my choice. Actually, my brother was the one choosing. He's the one who said, "Hey, let's go for the 360." And I was like, okay, we gotta share the consoles. So we played the 360, and it was fun. It wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty good console. I like the control feel to it. Let's go on with this. So, like many people that near their 18th birthday, the Xbox 360 will soon lose support from its parent company. Today, an announcement on Xbox Wire revealed that the Xbox 360 store will be shutting down on July 29th, 2024. Also, there's still time. It's going to be shutting down. There's still time, though. This means you will no longer be able to purchase games or DLC on the console, and the Microsoft Movies and TV app will stop working altogether. However, the post makes it clear that content bought beforehand will still be playable after the cutoff date. So if you've had anything, you bought anything before, digitally wise, you'll still keep it. So digital games on the 360 should still work just fine, and you'll always be able to re-download them. Games with online multiplayer features will also still be functional, though that exists one more of a game-by-game basis. For example, the servers of many Halo games have already been shut down, and while the Microsoft Movies and TV app will no longer work on the 360, your content there transfers to anywhere else you have the app. So that's what I was wondering, if you bought things digitally and you kind of just erased it, I'm guessing you can still download it, right? I was always afraid of that though. I was like, man, because I remember I got Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, Breath of the Wild, I bought it digitally. I don't have a physical game. And then I actually got the PS5 that's only digital. So I was wondering, if I bought, Breath of the Wild and just decided to erase the data on it, take out the game so I can get more gigabytes on the system, can I still re-download later if I ever change my mind, if I want to play it again? I was always afraid of trying. Additionally, backwards compatible 360 games will still be available to purchase and play on the Xbox One and Series X and S. But that's interesting. So 360 was a console that was, I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the control on it. It was the one I had, so I haven't played it ever since, though. Since we had the PS4, and now the PS5. I haven't touched that 360. It's just been sitting down somewhere in a room, in a box. Same thing with the Wii U. So, but for those who are fanatics of the 360 and still, you know, just know that your games you've had before digitally, you'll still be able to play them. Just you won't be able to buy new games or use the movies and TV apps, which I think people still use them for them. Not me, but yeah. Just a sad thing that, you know, it's considered retro. PS3 too. It's also considered retro. But let's go on into some PS5 games, new PS5 games for 2023 and beyond. Let's go over the list. The first one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Actually came out of this today, of this shooting. It's gonna come out next week, like the week before, like the following week that's coming up. But yeah, it came out today, so it's interesting. I didn't know there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game coming. I imagine it's gonna be like the Friday the 13th game, which seemed pretty fun. I saw people play it. It seemed pretty cool. It's like the Dead by Daylight as well. So it's kind of that style where you got the killers and the survivors, right? Sumo Digital is the developer. Gun Media is the publisher. So, publisher behind some of the best multiplayer horror games is back with a new nightmare. This one is based on the iconic Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Developed in collaboration with Sumo Nottingham. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a 3 versus 4 experience where you'll need to work collaboratively and competitively to survive, with 5 different killers on show, including Leatherface, the Cook, and the Hitchhiker. This is set to be one of the best online games of 2023. Sounds fun. It's something that I probably would have played if I had friends to play with. Right. Immortals of Avium. It's by EA. Immortals of Avium is the latest video game to emerge through the EA Originals program. Developers behind some of the best Call of Duty games are building an all-new FPS. Only this one has switched out traditional weaponry for a multi-tiered magic system, which have been impressed with everything we've seen of the game so far. With our latest Immortals of Avium preview, praising the world building and combat styles, Ascendant Studios has settled on. So that's coming out on the 22nd, probably when this will go up. Not a huge fan of FPS games, but for those who are, there you go. I think I've seen some footage of that. Fort Solis, coming out on the 22nd of August. This is one of the most intriguing narrative experiences of the year. A story told across 4 chapters. You'll be heading into a remote mining base in a desperate attempt to make contact with the outside world before a deadly storm envelops the area. So, it sounds like a story-based game. Don't know if it's going to be multiplayer. Don't know much about this. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. This is interesting because it is from Software. And the publisher's Bud and Namco. This is going to be coming out August 24th. From Software has spent much of the last decade building some of the most challenging action games in the industry has ever seen. So it's great to see the studio take a step back after Elden Ring and get back to its roots. Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing like, because when I was looking up From Software games, I went to check their previous work. I remember seeing a lot of Armored Core games. So in the beginning, that's cool. It's cool that they're bringing it back. They're gonna take a break from like the Soul style games and all those stuff like Elden Ring and that stuff. So let's see. Rubicon Armored 6 has been a long time coming and looks to be every bit worth the wait with its massive production values and intense focus on building the best mech that you can imagine. I saw some stuff on this, like some gameplay on it. Pretty cool. It's a cool idea. It's a mech game. So again, huge fan of From Software, of their games. But I'm not a huge fan of like mech games in particular. So it looks like a game I'm willing to try out, but not something that I'm like super excited about. Then we got Goodbye Volcano High coming out on August 29th. Let's see what this says. The developers behind Goodbye Volcano High announced that the narrative direction of the story had a reboot since we first saw the initial game reveal after being pushed back with a new team of writers. We finally get to see more of the game during the February 2023 State of Play. It is described as a cinematic, choice-based experience. Sea of Stars. This one looks pretty cool. The art style to it looks awesome. I think it's going to be an RPG. That's what it looks like. Coming out on the 29th of August. Sea of Stars looks like a delightful throwback to the RPGs we count among our ranking of the best PS1 games. It's a turn-based game that is directly inspired by the classics, expanding on those old ideals with a massive focus on traversal and world interaction. So, looks cool. I know one that I've played that I enjoyed was Octopath. I didn't play the second one though, Octopath Traveler. But I enjoyed the style of that, like the art style to it. This one looks fun too. This looks pretty cool. RPGs, they're okay. They just take a little bit longer to play. So maybe I'll check this out. Under the Waves, August 29th as well. Don't know anything about this game. Under the Waves from developer Parallel Studios and Quantic Dream is set to take us to the depths of the North Sea in alternate techno-futuristic 1970s. As a narrative-driven adventure, Under the Waves follows the story of a diver called Stan, who is said to be struggling with a loss. The isolating setting of the deep sea is also housing many mysteries, and you make your way through a journey of loss and love. Sounds like a cinematic game, like a movie game. Baldur's Gate 3. Now this has been out in PC. Should be coming out on consoles September 6th. So I don't think there's a lot to say about this game. Everybody loves this game. Since it's been out, I think I've been seeing like a lot of people playing it. So sounds like a good game. Is it something I'm going to get? I don't know. I have to look into it more. To decide. This is the game where the people are talking about you can have sex with bears. So there's that. I'm sure there's more to it. As a true D&D RPG, you can create your own with a wealth of customization options and get to know a cast of characters. You shape your story through the choices you make. That sounds cool. It sounds pretty cool. The release on PS5 will support split screen co-op for 2 players as well as 4-player online co-op. Oh, that's interesting. So you can play co-op on this. Again, if I had friends. Let's see. Let's go with the Crew Motorfest. It's a car game. September 11th. The Crew is set to return in September, with Motorfest bringing some delightful open-world arcade racing to PS5. This is an area the console has been lacking, so we're excited to tear it up across a scaled-down version of the island of Oahu in Hawaii with some of the fastest cars ever built. I used to be into racing games, like especially like the Need for Speed and the Midnight Clubs. But ever since like Midnight, I think the last game I've played was Midnight Club. Was it 2 or 3? The one that was like Dub Edition. Ever since then, I haven't touched any racing games. Or actually, that's a lie. I played Gran Turismo. I think I was more into the Gran Turismo games after a while. Lives of P, September 19th. Lives of P has quickly emerged as one of the most promising Souls-likes of the year. Developer Neowitz was praised for the tight combat with weird concept and gothic world design in our most recent Life of P preview, and it's no surprise that many are looking at this as something of a Bloodborne spiritual successor. Interesting. The game is set to launch on September 19th, so that sounds cool. I think Bloodborne was definitely my favorite PS4 game. It's been my favorite game ever since. I haven't played anything that I've actually like gotten into so much into it. I am going to start playing Sekiro, so I know it's really late. That game says like 2019, but I just recently got it, so I'm gonna be playing that. We'll see how that does, but yeah, Bloodborne was definitely my favorite. It's my favorite game so far. So this will be interesting. I definitely gotta check this out. Mortal Kombat 1 coming out on September 19th. You already know how I feel about that. Very excited about it. So don't really have to go into too much into it. So it's gonna be a great game. I believe so. Payday 3. I remember this is like the heist game. So Payday 3 is finally coming. bringing a new era of this immensely popular co-op shooter franchise. It's set several years after the payday crew's reign on Washington, D.C. has ended, but they're having to reassemble and rejoin the criminal world to deal with a new threat. It just looks as gun-heavy and explosive as you'd hope. Yep, it's just a shooter game. So if you're interested in if you like the payday games, there's the third one coming out on the 21st of September. Again, not huge in the FPS games, so it's not something that I'm gonna be getting or trying. Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. I think this is just a DLC coming out on September 26th. Yeah, just an expansion. Let's see. Not just because the developer project looks to be onto a winner with its spy thriller story. Excuse me. And massive new explorable areas, but because the studio is tweaking a great many of the fundamentals, overhauling key systems and mechanics of the core experience. Okay, so if you have the game Cyberpunk 2077, that expansion pack will be released on September 26th. I don't have the game. I think my brother does. He's been playing it. So there's that. EA Sports FC 24 coming out on September 29th. Pretty much gave my thoughts on this as well. Something that I won't be getting because I just recently bought FIFA 23. I treat sports games and then games like this that come out every year, like cell phones and stuff, where it's like, it's the same thing as the previous one from last year, so I'm not gonna really really get it. Not until like maybe 3 more years. So I'll probably wait until 26 for the World Cup thing. Yeah. I mean, it does say, I think it's gonna be, it could be a little bit different just because of it's now EA Sports FC and not FIFA. I think the only difference will be, I think I've heard that the game is a little bit slow. I could have tried it out. They sent me like a beta thing to test it out. I think because I play FIFA. But I didn't do it. But from what I'm taking is like the game itself is a little bit slower. I guess it's trying to be more realistic because FIFA hasn't been so realistic, I guess. But maybe I'm thinking as well, like the difference will be the licensing behind it. So they'll be able to get players that they couldn't, especially like, and teams as well, and leagues. I think that'll be the difference. We'll see. We'll see. It's not something I want to buy though. I'll probably just talk to my friends and see how they thought about it. Cocoon, September 29th. Don't know anything about this. It's one of those upcoming indie games of 2023 that we just can't take our eyes off. It looks like an utterly spellbinding adventure which should come as no surprise, really. It's the brainchild of Jeppe Carlsen, the leading gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside. Ooh, Limbo looked pretty cool. Between its cautious navigation, world-leaping mechanics, and intricate puzzles, Cocoon is undoubtedly going to be one of those games we can't stop talking about. Okay. Sounds interesting. If it's going to be anything like Limbo, especially a puzzle game, those do like interest me a lot. I love doing puzzles. It's like once you solve something, it just feels good, man. So an indie game, I'm guessing it won't be too expensive because it's an indie game. But I love indie stuff when it comes to like anything, indie music, indie movies, indie games. I just love supporting the smaller, the smaller people. Assassin's Creed Mirage. I haven't played any Assassin's Creed since 5. 5 was the last one. That will be coming out October 5th. And what's interesting about this one is it's supposed to be going back into its to the roots, I guess. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is taking the series back to where it all began. Yep. Assassin's Creed has spent the last 5 years exploring increasingly large open worlds and incorporating more intricate action RPG elements into its design. It's one of the things that kind of just drew me away from the game. I tried playing which one was I think the one with the Odyssey. Or I forget which one I tried. I think it was like Romans or something, or in Athens. I forgot. I tried one of them. It had to be Romans or Spartans. Something like that. I tried it for a while, and I just didn't it didn't intrigue me. It's the same thing with Syndicate. I actually played a little bit of Syndicate, but at that time Bloodborne was out, and I got Bloodborne as well, and I played that and totally forgot about Syndicate. So let's see. Mirage is going to be pay homage to the adventures of Valtteri and Ezio by leaning on the concept that once made Assassin's Creed so beloved to begin with. That's what I liked about it. Parkour, stealth, and assassinations. That's what I liked about the first Assassin's Creed and then the Ezio trilogy. Black Flag, I liked it because of the pirates. Lords of the Fallen. So this, I may try it, Mirage, but I don't know. Probably not. I won't probably buy it. Lords of the Fallen, October 13th. Let's see, 2014 title. Lords of the Fallen is getting a reboot and it looks pretty epic. It's not just the same game, but prettier. Developer Hexworks is wiping the slate clean and creating a new dark fantasy action RPG under the same name. It takes place over 1,000 years after the first game of the series, where you'll go on an adventure across the realms of the living and the dead. The two worlds are connected and each offers its own quests, characters, and more. That sounds interesting. Sounds cool. Maybe try to remember that so I can take a look at it more. And then Marvel Spider-Man 2 sounds like a cool game. It's obviously one of those games where it's like cinematic-y wise, you know, where you're doing the buttons, like kind of like you press the button, this happens. It's got cool cinematic features to it. I thought Spider-Man was awesome when it first came out by Insomniac. It was a good game. I liked it overall. It brought me back to like those the feeling of, you know, being Spider-Man and just swinging around New York City and everything. So cool thing. I never played the Miles Morales one. It's because I like Peter Parker, man. But I'm pretty sure it was good too. So this will be, I think it's gonna be good, especially since Venom is gonna be on there. City Skylines 2, October 24th, is finally coming and is a long-awaited sequel to one of the most popular city builders of all time. It's bringing with it enhanced features like better road tools, public and cargo transportation traffic. I don't know much about this. Traffic AI, massive 150 title maps per unique city. I know nothing about this. That's what I wanted to say. And a cinematic camera. Will also be able to get much closer to the action than ever before, with the opportunity to follow individual citizens from birth to death in your city. Whoa, that is crazy. Sounds like you build a city, but now you're gonna be able to like actually follow an individual citizen, kind of like The Sims. No? Do you control what they do, or just watch what they do? Alone in the Dark, October 25th. The franchise that helped popularize survival horror is finally back. THQ Nordic has resurrected Alone in the Dark, with this reboot attempting to get back to the series' fundamentals. You'll take control of two characters, Emily Hartwood and Edward Carnby, as the pair to investigate the strange goings on at Darketo Manor. Ooh, I love horror games. This might be something that I might do for like Let's Playing, you know, play through this and record it and everything. Alan Wake 2, October 27th. Alan Wake is finally getting a sequel, and this time it's going to be a survival horror game, but with a very familiar face and voice returning as the titular hero himself. According to Remedy, you should expect a chilling experience with familiar psychological horror elements. Whoa, I didn't know what this was. Alan Wake? I never played that. It's another horror game. But this is by Epic Games. Gotta be careful with that. Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden. I think I've seen this, like some footage on this. Coming out November 7th, Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden is the new title from Don't Nod Entertainment of Life is Strange fame. And it's quite different totally from what we've had from the team before. You'll be hunting ghosts as a pair of lovers in New Eden in 1965, known as Antia and Red. However, when Antia becomes one of the spirits after being fatally wounded by it, they need to find a way to set her free. Never mind. I don't know what this is about. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is coming out November 10th. Yeah, not super excited about modern Call of Duty. It's an FPS, so I hear that they are changing things. So Let me see. While we're still waiting more details, we know that MW3 will see Captain Price and the crew going toe-to-toe with iconic Modern Warfare villain Makarov. Expect more details like 7. Okay, so there isn't so much on it. So, do Call of Duty games still have like campaigns? Is that what this is about? Or I thought they just like became like kind of like battle royale type of stuff. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora coming out December 7th. After years of silence, we now have a name, a trailer, and a vague release date for Ubisoft's Avatar title. It's coming sometime in 2023 and is a standalone story from any of the movies. The first-person action adventure sees you play as a Na'vi and journey across the western frontier. So it's going to be based on the movie, pretty much. It's going to be. I'm not a huge fan of like games based on movies, kind of like the Avengers and stuff. Remember those games? Except for Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was good. It was based on the movie, and it was actually pretty good. It was a good game, but we'll see. Avatar movie was a great movie. It's one of the like probably top 10 movies ever made, based on the money, you know. But even just in general, they're good movies. So it'll be interesting to see how the game is. That's pretty much it, though. Those are the games that should be coming out for PS5 in 2023. Let me know if there was something that's interesting for you. I got my picks in some games that I'm going to be looking out for. That's pretty much it, though. Thanks for watching. Check out the other videos. Check out the other ones from the if you're interested in what's going on with Neymar or the movie Napoleon. Some good stuff there. So check those videos out as well. Check out the other video. The FIFA 23 career gameplay. It's a Road to Glory match with Road to Glory with Portsmouth. And then I'm gonna be playing some retro games. I'm finishing up Adventures of Lolo. Should be finishing up sometime soon. The last floors. The devil. We're fighting the devil now. So check those out. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Vámonos.